So indeed, we're developing this real-time model server on top of HANA, but also other databases in the end. But what I would like to show you is an example where we have this real-time model server available, and it's connected to a HANA database in the office in Gouda. So what we can do there, we can show you what it looks like, and actually it just looks like every other every-angle client that you know, but now it's real-time connected to HANA. So it means that if we make a change in the SAP application, which is updating the HANA database, if we press refresh in the real-time model server, we'll actually see the updated information. So that's one part where we're working on. That's actually the left part. But the second part where we're working on is also, there are some areas within every angle where there's very complex calculations are performed. And that's in the area of demand and supply matching. And for demand and supply matching, we also need to do something with the schedule lines in SAP. So every angle splits them to be able to say, okay, this schedule line has a specific status. I'll come to that in a minute. To do those calculations, we also actually want to do them in HANA itself, so that we don't need anything outside of HANA, but that the HANA power can actually calculate those results as well. So that's the second project where we make sure that these calculations can be done in HANA. And there we also made some progress already. So there I also want to show you that we changed something, that it affects the schedule line logic, and that will press refresh in the real-time model server, and it will see the updated result. So before I do that, I want to explain you a little bit about the schedule line logic, because otherwise you think, oh well, how special is this? But what we do with every angle is we split schedule lines. And here we have a case where we have a sales order of 8 pieces, which has 2 different conformations of 4. And in the end, delivery of 5 is created. And then you could raise the question, okay, how about this delivery of 5? Is this going to be on time or too late? And that seems like a simple question, and of course the question is, but the answer is rather difficult because we have to relate it to those conformations. And we have 2 of 4. So we can't just say, okay, this 5 is corresponding to the first confirmed delivery moment. And then in that case, if you see the first one is going to be delivered on the 13th of December, and the delivery is going to be delivered on the 21st, it's actually going to be late. But on the other hand, a small part of the 5 is also related to the second confirmation. Well, if you look at the data tables in the HANA database, for this scenario, then you'll see just one record with the delivery of 5. And it's very hard then to report, okay, whether this is on time or not. And therefore, every angle splits the whole thing to say, actually, okay, the delivery is split in a part of 4, where it's related to the first confirmation and it's late. And it splits it in a part of 1, where it's related to the second confirmation, and that's on time or early. And then, of course, there's a quantity of 3 remaining. So that is what every angle does in this area of schedule line logic. And actually, well, maybe it sounds even simple, but the coding behind it is very complex. So what I'm trying to do now in this project is to make sure that it's being done by HANA itself, and the logic is one-to-one with what's being done in the model server currently. So what I want to do is to show you an example of the real-time model server. So let me go into that area. So this is actually what the real-time model server looks like. So this is very similar to what you're used to in every angle as you're using it now, when it's just the classic model server. The only difference is, of course, that here we see this order where we also have 2 confirmations of 4, that if I would change anything now and I press refresh, then it actually gets me the new data. So we don't need to do a whole new load, but we can just press real-time F5, and it will query the HANA database at that moment where the updated information is available, and we'll see the difference. So what I want to do now is to go into the SAP application, actually create a delivery of 5 for this order, and then, of course, see what happens, to see if we actually get the updated results. So I've prepared this order, and I'll go into SAP, and what I'll just do is create a new delivery for this order. Shipping point 1200. I'll say OK. Well, then it suggests to do a delivery of 8, but we're going to trick it, of course, to say, no, we want to deliver 5 to get exactly the same scenario, and we want to deliver it on the 21st. And we're going to save it. So at this point, we have the same scenario that we have here. Let's see. So what we would expect now is actually to have not 2 times 4 that we saw before, but a 4, a 1, and a 3 in the real-time model server once I refresh it, and then we get the specific statuses about each line. So let me go there. So here we are. If I now press F5. Oh, too bad. I already did it. So you have to believe me. It was refreshing. And now, indeed, we don't see the 2 times 4 anymore, but we see the 4, 1, 3. So in the background, it just queries HANA. There we have put in all this logic to calculate those schedule lines, which have been processed, and we get the actual result. So next step is also to get demand and supply matching in HANA, and then everything can actually be done within HANA itself. So that's it.